Well, hello everybody. I'm just in the process of making these benches. It's making it for someone who is making 3 of these benches in memory of someone who passed. So it's kind of an honor. It's always, you always take what you're making to be important, but when it's being made in honor of somebody, you take a little bit more care. So anyway, I'm making 2 5-foot benches long and 1 4-foot one. That's what they wanted. This is the first one I put together. It's not quite put together yet. I've just got it held together with clamps, and I need to put some dowels in here. That's what they wanted. So I'll show you the process. I've got all my planks here that have been drying. So there's the bench there. I think it'll turn out pretty nice. Obviously these 2 pieces aren't here, they're just holding it up right now. But these are the wide pieces here that I'm going to use to build the bottom or the legs out of. And then I have some of these will be some of the back. 2 of those will be the backs, and then in here I have I think bigger ones. Yeah, these will be for the bench, for the bottom. So that's the plan. Let's get to it. The first thing we need to do is cut this L-type shape. I've made them so the height of the top here is 19, so the actual cutout is 16. And then the angle back here, I was researching it, they say between 5 and 10 degrees. So I've gone with about 7 degrees, 8 degrees angle on the back. And I think that should be enough. Any more, it's kind of too slouched back, I think. So let's get to cutting this here. So this is a pretty wide one. It's a good one, actually. We're going to that's pretty straight. So I think I'll just go with that. We'll cut that off the bottom. Then get at least I think I can't find my tape measure. So we got it all marked out. Cutting off a little bit off the bottom, 16 inches up. Put a little angle here, about 7 to 8 degrees up to the top, 39 inches from top to bottom. Now we're going to cut it out. Now, unfortunately, this is a hair over 3 inches, and my skill saw, it's a regular skill saw, so it only cuts 2 3/4. So, this is the only awkward part of the whole process. I will do this. Put this underneath here. Even though I know it doesn't come through. And then I'll cut through all of those on the top. Then the bottom here, then I'll have to use the reciprocating saw to get through it. It's a little ugly, but because it's cedar, I can fix anything with sanding. Then the plan is, once I cut this out, I'll turn it around and then we can trace out the other one so it's identical. what I think we'll do there, lads. Spin this. Cut into there. Cut down into there. We did it there, lads. Just got this one to do, but I think I will flip it over and I will cut it with my skill saw because I feel more confident with that. So let's see here. I will run this up, run that up. Do a line between her. Use the skill saw at maybe a 1/2 inch setting. Cut it that way. It does a better job. So just have a little bite out. It doesn't there, I can fix that with the... So there's one. Maybe we'll fix her with the sander right now. Let's cut that duty off. And here I'm just using a orbital sander. It just, with the Cedar, you can fix up any little nick or mark that the saw made that you don't like. It's all going to be hidden anyway, but it's just nice to make it look half decent. And I'm using like just a 60 grit sandpaper here going along. This will be where the back of the bench goes. And as you'll see, I do have to move the piece in the sawhorse, or in this case it's called a jaw horse, which, by the way, if you haven't seen that in other videos, this is a great tool for holding and affixing things that are really awkward in shape, like this piece is. So I really like the jaw horse for these particular uses. And then I go along here, the seat of it again just kind of cleans it up a little bit. And I think right here I'm dumping out the sawdust. I think I'm gonna get a new sander too. new 60 gritter. No point in fighting. And here I'm just doing a little sanding on the edge to take off any splinters that might come out. It just makes it look a little bit nicer. Not too much. Just takes off the splinters that are on the side. And especially when I flip it over and do the bark side, I just quickly do the bark side, as you'll see when I flip it over, and also get the sharp edges in case, you know, someone runs their hand along it and they can actually cut themselves if they ran it over too quick. But if you just take a little bit off the edge, it just makes it that much softer. And right there, I'm doing it right there on the top. So there's the bar, and then right there's that's a pretty sharp point right there. So it just like I said, takes the sharp point off. So if someone just runs their hand by it quickly, they don't, or their calf or their wherever part of it's hitting their body, it doesn't cut them or, you know, poke them, so to speak. And I'm going to take that knot off there just with the reciprocating saw so I can make it sand it down better. Just again, so it's not something that people run into or stub their toes or fingers or hands or knees on. Put it onto here, and we'll trace another one for the legs. So something like this. Let's get a good chunk out of it. that. It's not going to be as big, obviously, because we're at the other end of the spectrum here. Just want to make sure we have enough here that it is. Okay, let's see how that looks. Let's trace it up. Should be the right size of it. Add better lines to this. Let's do a zoom in. And always near the end of these cuts, when I come to a line, I'm actually looking at the actual line, not the saw, so I know when to stop. You don't want to overcut your line. Same thing from this direction. I start out on the line with the saw, and then when I get close to the cut, my eye then goes from the line on the saw to the actual saw blade itself. And I stop there, so it's no overcuts. Overcuts look horrible, and just to me, overcuts show amateur type work. Now, let's do this now, folks. I'm going to turn that over and cut this. I will flip it over. And then cut it with the skill saw. So here I'm just connecting the lines so I can cut it with the saw, and then I'm just double checking to make sure it's 16 inches and parallel from the seat to the bottom of the leg. There she be. Now we can sand her up. There's one. Here's the other. Let's see if they match up pretty close. Pretty good. Yeah. The only thing I worry about, this is the design they wanted. The only thing I worry about being cedar, if this doesn't split down there somehow. But that's what they wanted. So I do worry about that. So this is my jaw horse here. This works really well for sanding and for holding awkward wood. Okay, well, we're gonna put this bench together here. Here are the two legs, so to speak, all ready to go. I've marked out the holes for putting the dowels in because the person wants dowels put in it. Let's start drilling that right now. So I have the 1-inch bits. This one is just kind of like an auger bit. I've made my 2 marks right here. I'm going to start with the Forester because it does a cleaner cut, in other words. Straight through here. Now, or with the auger bit. Now the reason that I know where this is actually the bottom of the board, so I do not want to poke through because I know then it'll splinter the top. That would be horrible. So I have to be careful here. And then once that pokes through, it's not there yet. This bit usually doesn't go through, so. There it goes, it's through. Gotta be careful with one hand. That one's through as well. Now we'll go to the other side there. Do the same 2 things. And finish off with the auger. Yep. Then we'll flip it over. This is the top of the board, and we will just take her nice and slow. Yeah, that worked pretty good. crack out any. So that's a nice clean cut. Do the last two. Good. So next thing we're going to do, put this piece goes as the bench. Just make sure it's all clean from junk. We can see how close we are. Should go over this hair. My little spacer. It's always hard reassembling something when it's rustic. Pretty close there. It's gotta take our time. Looks good. Go over just a hair. And then I'm going to drill in from the top so I know where the holes go into the legs. And then I'll get the back part of the bench and drill the holes in it, suspend it up, and then drill it as well. I'm gonna do these ones as well. That's the front. So there it is on top. And I'm gonna just bolt it there temporarily. Not bolt it. Clamp it temporarily, because that just gives us a little bit of structure. Okay, I don't know if that's the best way to do it, but it works for me. A little bit of clampage goes a long way. I'll drill those in there, I think, so I can stack these over here. So we're just drilling the hole. So you can see how that worked out there. I got the holes in there. I just have to drill those deeper. And then we can dowel it up. Holes in the legs that will then be able to dowel the bench seat to the legs and to the back as well. So we're getting there. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little bevel on all these. Just a little bevel, so then when I bang them in, they find their way into the actual hole. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll cut 2 more. So what I mean by a little bevel is on the end, just giving it a little bevel so when it goes into the hole, there's a little bit of give when it goes through. So I don't have to fight hitting a sharp edge and not making it in. All right, I'm gonna get the glue inside the hole. I think I'll use an old paintbrush. Okay, keep this upside down. Let's also paint these holes a bit. And I'll put them on the And sorry you can't see very much here. I had the camera on the wrong zoom, so you don't really see much of the gluing and dowel insertion. So I'll fast forward to where there's something where you can see, because otherwise this is just watching bits of my forearm here and there, and it doesn't really make much sense. Sorry about that. Well, there's one done. Just gotta cut off the ends of the dowels and then sand it down, and then that'll be done. I don't know how strong it's going to be, like laterally this way, just with the dowels in there. May have to put like a bar across the bottom. I don't know. We'll see. It should be a nice looking bench though.